Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. We've got your first division show today. I'm going to look back at the games at the weekend and look forward to the fixtures over the course of the weekend coming. Tonight now, Waterford play Treaty in Treaty. Waterford the game in hand, so that match will probably be over by the time this is released, so just bear that in mind. But we'll go through the other games. The games at the weekend, Wexford were beaten 1-0 at home to Finn Harps, and it's a good result for Finn Harps because it bumps them up to 6th in the league table, level with Athlone, who are in the playoffs. That has to be their target this year. Finn Harps, OG by Crawford. It was good play by Harps as they moved it out to the left, and it was a good cross into the box, which caused a lot of problems, and Crawford put it into his own net under pressure. Wexford will be disappointed, I think. 3 wins and 10 for them. A lot of talk about their signings ahead of the start of the season, and it just hasn't clicked for them yet. They're only 2 points behind the playoff position, but you know, you would have said maybe a couple of weeks ago that Finn Harps and Wexford would be, you know, Wexford might be in a better position in a general sense, but will Finn Harps winning this game puts a lot of pressure on Wexford as well. Both identical goal difference, which is strange, 11 goals each, 16 against. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because Wexford are 7th in the league at the moment, and in normal years you would say that's quite good. But as I said, some people tip them to finish 2nd or 3rd in the league. You know, I personally have them down, I think, for a playoff place as well. But they'll be disappointed with this. For some reason, it's not gelling, even though they've a lot of very, very good players at the club. And one of them players is Ethan Boyle, who obviously left Finn Harps to go there. You know, Connor Levinson, players like that. Dobbs, who did score a couple of goals in the win at Longford last time out. So, you know, I don't know, it's not really gelling. If you're a Wexford fan, let me know in the comments why you think it isn't gelling yet. James Keddy's obviously new in the job as well, and maybe a bit inexperienced compared to some of the other managers in the leagues. One might argue, but of course Dave Rogers is manager of Finn Harps, and obviously he's inexperienced as such, as a manager in the league as well. And look, he's trying to change things in Finn Harps. There's a lot of young players there. The structure is trying to change. Everything is trying to change there. And, you know, they've had some poor results, but they'll be delighted with this win in Wexford. It was a very good win for them. And moving forward, I'm sure that they'll look to improve, particularly at the back where they've been porous. They've conceded a lot of bad goals in games as well. And, you know, I know they've conceded the same amount as Wexford, for example, but did a bad defeat a couple of weeks ago, of course, to Waterford, which wasn't great. So they'll be delighted with going to the East Coast once again, but this time getting a win and a clean sheet. So it's a massive win for Finn Harps, and they're up to 6th in the table. Wexford in 7th at this minute in time. Now, speaking of Waterford there, they do have a game tonight in Treaty. If they can win that game, again, as I said, that game will be over by the time this video comes out, so you'll personally know the result when this video comes out, but they'd be 7 points behind Galway. All they have to do is keep going. They have to keep going and keep trying to get 3 points, and hopefully that Galway will slip at some point or have a bit of bad form. They've won 10 in a row, Galway. We'll get on to them in a minute. But this was a weird game, wasn't it, at the RSC? And if you're at the RSC, let me know your thoughts on the game. Ronan Coughlin with 4 goals in the first half and then was taken off. I think he scored 9 goals this season. It's great to see him back fit and playing and now scoring goals. 2 of the goals were a gift from the Athlone defence. The 4th goal Coughlin scored was a brilliant play by himself, and a lovely finish with his left foot. But Athlone will be very disappointed because they literally handed Coughlin 2 of them on a plate, in which Coughlin wasn't going to decline. 4-0 at half time. And look, what often happens in these games, if a team's 4-0 up at half time, they get a bit complacent, and you know, the opposition kind of, the shackles come off a wee bit. Maybe that happened a little bit, but Waterford won't be happy with that all the same. I don't think that they got that scare. Hickey made it 4-1 and 53, but by the time the 56th minute came along, it was 4-2, Perrault's penalty. And then with 20 minutes to go, Doyle with a free kick caught Martin unawares under the wall, and 4-3 with 20 minutes to go. And at that point, momentum, it's very hard to get momentum back into a game from a Waterford's point of view, but they were just happy in the end that they got the 3 points. Yes, they got a bit complacent. Some might argue that Coughlin shouldn't have been taken off at half time, but at the same time, you're 4-0 up. I mean, that shouldn't, if you're taking a player off, any player off, in reality, he probably still needs to be managed a little bit as well, because he had a lot of muscle injury issues before we came to Waterford, so you can understand that the players in the field have to do the job. But I suppose Lua maybe should have come on at half time, maybe against his former club, and just went for like, with Coughlin going off the pitch, perhaps, maybe. I don't know what Waterford fans think of that one. Conan Clark came on. He was usually a winger, so let me know what you think of that one. But ultimately 4-3 for Waterford, and they're second in the league. There's as I say, good chance they'll beat Treaty by the time this video's out, and they'll be 7 points behind. And 7 points seems like a lot, but considering Galway've won 10 in a row, it's not a lot, if you get me. Athlone be delighted pretty much with their start of the season. They're still in the playoffs. If they can even contend for the playoffs as the season goes on, they'll be very, very happy. And it'll be interesting to see how they go. Pirro has been a good player for them and a big threat. He managed to score from a penalty in this game. So Athlone will be happy enough overall. They will not be happy with the 2 goals they gave away, particularly obviously in the first half, but the 2 goals where they literally handed Waterford goals. I mean, you just can't do that at this level, at any level really, can you, and expect to get results. But they'll be delighted with the fighting spirit they showed in the second half. And speaking about this spirit, bottom of the table, Kerry took on Galway, where it finished Kerry C1, Galway 4. And, if you look at the result, you think there's nothing to see here. Move on, Galway 10 wins in a row, brilliant stuff from them. But Kerry took the lead after 40 minutes through Kelleher, and suddenly there was a bit of a surprise in the card. Kerry FC 1, Galway 0. But the key moment of the game essentially was Galway scored right in half time to make it 1-1. David Hurley with a goal there. And obviously that's going to change the complexion a little bit. You never know. If Kerry hung on for 1-0 at half time, could they nick something out of the game? They certainly would have made it more difficult, I think, for Galway to pick up the 3 points. But Stephen Walsh's goal 5 minutes after the restart put Galway 2-1 up, and after that their control. Horgan after 58, and then the late goal from Stephen Walsh again with 20 minutes to go to give Galway the 4-1 win. And Walsh has kind of continued where he's left off from last season. He's in the goals, isn't he? And the good thing about Galway is their goals are well spread this season. We were making a joke earlier on the season how defenders always score for them, but they're scoring midfield, they're scoring, their strikers are scoring, and their defenders scoring, so they're a threat from everywhere. It would have been a major shock if Kerry hung on, but as I said, that goal right in half time was key, and Kerry can take heart obviously from some of the aspects. They're obviously going to tire against a team like Galway as well in the second half as well, and of course if there's something to hang on to, in which maybe they would have had they not conceded right in half time, it could have been interesting. But Galway scored 33 goals and conceded 4. I mean, it's no wonder they've won 10 games in a row. I mean, they're the top scorers in the league by 11 goals, and they've Waterford conceded 9, but Galway've conceded 4. Who are the next best, and that's an unbelievable goal difference as well, isn't it? To be fair, plus 29, but to have scored that many goals and not concede, it's a recipe for success, isn't it? And Caulfield and obviously Ollie's in there now as well, they're obviously doing a very good job. There will come a time when a result will go against them, and it'll be how they react after that result comes against them. And in the meantime, if Waterford can keep winning, when that happens, we could have an interesting race. At the moment, it looks difficult that Waterford might be able to catch Galway, because there's still, even though Waterford in decent form, there's still some vulnerabilities there, whereas at the moment, it looks like there's no vulnerabilities in Galway. So fantastic result for them again, because they could have got nervous. So you got 1-0 down against Kerry in 40 minutes, you're thinking these are bottom of the table, and no one's expecting this or to get a draw out of the game. So they showed good character in the game again. So they've won games in many ways this season, tight games, hammer teams, show good character, play some good stuff as well. So they've done it every way, Galway, and at this moment in time they're flying, and they've been brilliant. So fair play to Galway so far. Kerry 1, Galway 4. Cove Ramblers took on Treaty in a Munster derby, and it finished Cove 1, Treaty 1. Jack Doherty after 2 minutes. Conroy with a superb volley on 20 minutes. Caught the keeper unawares. You wouldn't blame the goalkeeper there, because it was a beautiful strike. He really caught it well. And Treaty 7 points in the table, level with Longford with a game in hand. They'll be looking to get a result against Waterford tonight and prop up the table. 1 win, 4 draws, 4 defeats. Just not scoring enough goals for me. 8 goals this season. Cove have scored 13, for example. Cove 15 points, 4th in the table, a point behind Bray. They'd be delighted with their start overall. They might be a little disappointed they didn't actually win the game, to be fair though. Jack Doherty's been playing very well for them this season. He must have scored 6 or 7 goals at this point for Cove, I think. So actually, just looking at it now, where is Jack Doherty? He scored 7 goals this season, which is unbelievable, only behind Ronan Coughlin 9. Borden has got 7 for Galway, who by the way has been excellent this season as well. Just looking at the top scores list quickly before I get back on the treaty, you've got 3 at the top 5 from Galway, Borden on 7, Hurley on 5, and Walsh on 5. But Treaty, they're still relying on Enda Curran, I think, who scored 4 goals this season. So, it's obviously a thing that, they'll be looking to improve on, because even though Curran can score goals, it's hard to rely on him to get the goals all the time as well. So, they are relying on them to get the goals. And, it was always going to be difficult for them this season, with a lot of other teams, I think, improving. And you'd argue Treaty, if they didn't get worse, necessarily stood still. And they've done so well the last 2 seasons, you know what I mean? But they're still not easy to beat, you feel, though. And ultimately, they'll be pleased enough with their point in Cove, considering I think Cove will be delighted. As I said, they overall with the season, but a little bit disappointing not to win this game and put themselves above Bray Wanderers. Now, this was on Saturday, finished Longford 10-1, Bray 1. This was nearly called off due to bad weather, but luckily it went ahead, so fair play to the staff at Longford 10. Gurji again scoring after 11 minutes, I believe his 4th goal of the season. Bray scored late on through Conor Davis to make it 1-1. I think it's a weird one, really, because, Longford are hard to judge this season. They're second bottom of the table at the moment, and I don't know, they brought back good players like Derv, and Darrell Lynch is brilliant when he's fit. Gurji's done well. They have good players. Elworthy's still at the club. You've got O'Connor there, so I don't know. Should they be doing better? I don't know. Maybe Longford fans can let me know on that one if they think they should be doing better. You know what I mean? I said they're second bottom. They're joint. They're third bottom, and they're head of Treaty and goal difference, but I don't know. Brave had an interesting couple of weeks, had a very good start. But the last few weeks have tailed off just slightly, I think, as well. Just slightly. A little bit, you know what I mean? Particularly that defeat in the Leinster Senior Cup, which would have been disappointing because it wasn't exactly a weak Bray team that was put out. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter. But it can affect confidence. And that said, they'll be happy that they're third in the league. I don't think any Bray fan expected them to push up in Galway or Waterford in reality if they were doing as well as they should be doing. Galway and Waterford, that is. So I think they'll be pleased enough at the start they've had. They've a pretty decent squad of players as well, so I think that will serve them well as the season goes on. Look at other teams in around like Cove and Athlone. I think Bray's squad, I think they can cope better generally with injuries and suspension and things like that. Will be a massive thing, and I think Ian Ryan has been a good appointment and will be a good appointment for them. So although they'd be a little disappointed, they could have lost the game as well, I guess. And Longford, even though they're 8 and 7 points, they're kind of not as bad as that, you know what I mean? I think there's more to come from Longford. They obviously need to score more goals. I think 8 goals as well they've scored in the league. So and keep Darrell Lynch fit is key, but it's very difficult because he's been on the injury table quite a number of times over the last couple of years. So it's not something you would guarantee, is it, to be fair? But as I said, they'll be happy enough, Longford, with the performance, I think, in this match, and they'll be looking to hopefully kick on the next couple of weeks and get a few more results. Only 1 win and 10, so they'll be disappointed with that. But as I mentioned, Treaty and Waterford will be over by the time this comes out, but having said that, I'll go for a Waterford win. I think they'll win and go 7 points behind Galway. If that's the case, then it leaves Friday's games interesting again. Athlone and Wexford is an interesting fixture in Athlone. Obviously, Athlone are in the playoff position, Wexford slightly out. It's a big game, this, I think. I still think Athlone are, although they look better this season, they still look like they can give silly goals away. Wexford, there's more in them, there's more quality in them, but they got to show that. I think Wexford might pinch this one 1-0. I think they might pinch it 1-0. Bray and Waterford is a big game in terms of, particularly from Waterford's point of view, because knowing that they're either going to be 7 or 10 points behind Galway, so that pressure going to the likes of the Carlisle having to get a win, because it won't be easy. Bray will be up for this. They'll play football, which just probably suits Waterford in a sense as well, because Waterford sometimes struggle when they come up against teams who don't play that way. But then again, I was under previous management as well, and Keith Long's a different manager. But even so, I think old habits die hard and all that kind of thing. So it's an interesting game. I expect an entertaining game at the Carlisle grounds, to be fair. I think There should be goals, you would think. There should be goals. Waterford well able to score goals, probably well able to concede as well. Bray try and play nice football. So I think this would be a good open game of football. I think if you're a neutral and other game to go to, even if you're in the area, Bray and Waterford's a good one to go to. I'm delaying what I think though. I think Bray might get something out of the game, so I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Galway and Cove. Not an easy game for Galway, and you're kind of looking at Galway going the way they're playing at the moment. Where are they going to drop points? They're going to drop points sometime. But it's difficult to see that happening this week. Cove, again, another team under Shane Keegan that like to try and play, and they do have players that can play football. We know how well Jack Doherty's playing for them at the moment. People are probably sick of hearing it, but Galway just have more, don't they? Borden getting goals, David Hurley playing well, getting goals, Stephen Walsh, the players on the bench who can come on and score goals, the likes of Lambota and players like that. Warrawoo is on loan from Galway, so I doubt if he is allowed to play in this game for Cove, to be fair. So, yeah, I mean, even set pieces is a big thing. They play Galway as well because they can play good football, but then they can score goals from set pieces. And you see Bruder and the likes of Horgan, players of that, Slevin, who score goals from set pieces. So you've got that added bonus, if you like, if you're Galway, and it's just another threat if you're the opposition. So it's difficult to see Galway not winning the match, but Cove might do okay in it. I'll go 3-1 Galway. Treaty United Kerry, another derby. Treaty and Marcusfield will be hoping to get another win here. Kerry obviously will be hoping to get a win themselves, and the first win obviously in the League of Ireland. But yeah, Treaty will still think they can get into the playoff picture, and if they want to get into the playoff picture, they're going to have to be winning games like this at home. I think they might just do enough though. 2-1 Treaty. Finn Harps and Longford up in Ballybuffet, and Longford's away form has been better than their home form actually, so maybe this will be a welcome game for them. Harps have struggled a little bit obviously, and particularly at home as well, but I think they might be a little more confident after recent results and performances in the last few weeks. Again, the weather dependent, because the weather's still a bit up and down, isn't it, and soft, and it's not great. So what Rodgers is trying to do is probably a bit difficult to do in Ballybuffet at this minute in time. Longford, I think, will keep it tight, there's no doubt about it, and I think this will be a battle. I think it might end up in a draw. So guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about the previous results. Let me know. Give me a few predictions for the games upcoming as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, and we'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye now.